Well, hello again. Welcome to Tarot for Our Times. This is Sarah, your medium on the go, and I'm doing something very unusual. I am uploading two videos in one day, probably to make up for the time of being off for over 10 days because of a little travel, some vaccine reaction, and all that sort of thing. So, in the earlier one, I did the one about the sudden switcheroo to Ukraine, and is that going to end a beautiful bromance between Kanks and Putrid? So that one has been up already. This is probably going to be about an hour after that. So I want to look into the Jimmy Kimmel thing. I pretty much figured he would be back on the air, but I didn't think it was going to happen that fast. To be quite honest with you, I thought. I mean, they took such a nosedive in subscription losses and um, people selling their stock shares of Disney and ABC and all that sort of thing. So this was a real Six of Wands victory for, as I have Jimmy Kimmel's face on this in the thumbnail. You can see this has been really used quite a bit. I don't know what that is on there, but any rate, I would say the biggest weapon we have to do things peacefully is the power of the purse and boycotting. That was a bit to lose of billions of dollars, like 3 billion, more than maybe 5 billion in a few days. That is big, and that's all these corporate jerks understand is the loss of their pocketbook. So, they're concerned now. What is that? That other one that there's some in some out markets they didn't show him. I just forgot about that other company that owns local ABC stations. Not that many, maybe 30 or so. I think that they're probably going to be feeling the pinch now that it's all, well, that's what social media does. It gets the word out there very fast. And if you look at history, there was the bus, going back to the civil rights movement in the 60s. There was the busing boycott, all kinds of boycotts that moved us towards the civil rights law in 1964. So this is sometimes the old stuff, but using modern technology to get the word out is very important. And I did see that last night, and I guess everybody's. I don't have to go over it too much, but once again, and I think this is the MAGA mindset. You have to preface anything you say about Charlie Kirk's with the sincerity of condemning this sort of violence. It doesn't solve anything. It makes, it takes a father away from his kids, plus the fact it's made him into such a martyr that if you say, and this may be what was part of Jimmy Kimmel's problem, if you say anything like the guy wasn't an angel, far from it, then they take it to mean that we were celebrating his death. And I think that's what the Disney, ABC, Hulu, all that stuff got themselves all upset and bending to pressure. Now, Tabitha, who I just love her videos, did say yesterday that she wasn't going back. She is not going to go back and subscribe to all of that stuff. And I've been seeing that on Facebook as well. It's kind of like they had, that strike three. First there was the doing away with the DEI, then the bend the knee with the George Stephanopoulos thing. And this is just a bridge. It's a bridge too far. It's a bridge to, so now they have to live with the consequences. I also want to take I think that this is very important, his going back on the air, and he did it with a lot of grace, I have to say. And he was funny. But, the wonderful thing about this were the fact that Colbert and all the others really supported him. They really said that they set their egos aside as comedians, and they really backed him up, because I think they all know if you watch Colbert, you're going to watch Jimmy Kimmel later or the next day on YouTube, and vice versa, with all those late night guys, and Jon Stewart and all of them. So there was the whole thing of them sticking together. I think Colbert may be going off in a different direction, but it would be interesting. So maybe, if it doesn't come up in this general reading, I think I'm going to do like I did with Zelensky, just pull a few cards to see what's going on with that. Because the thing about this is, it goes back to the whole standing up to bullies, and courage is courageous kind of a thing, because Kimmel was not going to go back and grovel and apologize and all this sort of thing. He really had the upper hand with this. So I think we're going to see, I'm going to do a reading. Let's see if this does have a ripple effect. And maybe this is going to help, and see if it helps us in our own personal life. It could help us in our personal lives to standing up to bullies ourselves. I mean, didn't your mothers tell you all about that? But it seems as though a lot of people either mothers didn't either tell them, or they didn't pay any attention. Okay, so I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot Royale, the Rider, and the Before and After Tarot. So we're going to take a look and see all the repercussions of, which will be good, I hope. And this is, another one of those points of light. We've got to grab onto those. We know the dangers we're in now. Any little thing like this, courage is contagious. It gets contagious. Okay, so let me drop this and see where we are, because this is not I think that they did that for it, but one of the best jokes now is when Jimmy Kimmel said, now he's going to talk about Epstein to distract us from this. And there's a lot of truth to that. So, okay, so let's see where we are at with this whole thing of Kimmel going back. Oh, the King of Wands in reverse. One of the many faces of Trump. He is pissed off. He went on a major Twitter rant, and I think he's still ranting and raving. And so this is the King of Wands can be a real SOB in reverse. He is a nasty ass tempered guy when he's in reverse. And as I've been saying all along, I see kings in reverse as different aspects of that very interesting personality. So, okay, so let's see what we had leading up to this. In the Before Tarot, we have, this is so perfect. The Nine of Cups. The very smug merchant. He's getting ready. He's filling those cups up, getting ready for the day, thinking he's off the air. Everything has gone my way. But this is also being, he's going to be in for a big surprise when he finally puts his big tuchus on that bench. I'm telling you. So, it's also the be careful what you wish for as you fill those cups. You get someone off the air, it makes a big stink. These companies tank economically, and who do you think they're going to go back and blame for that? Don't put any more pressure on us. Okay, so after tarot, Very interesting. I couldn't have done better if I decided to go through the deck and pick one out myself. Oops, almost forgot my microphone. Oh boy. I knew I forgot. I hope that doesn't affect the sound too much. Okay. Alrighty, so the after tarot we have justice. Justice, okay. In the upright, she's pretty much done with her day in court and has seen the last of the people, sending them on their way. I would say, we'll go coming right on top of this. I would see he is feeling this is terribly unjust and we are not going away. I think from some of the idiotic comments I've read on some of the local TV station in Pittsburgh Facebook pages, I did call them a bunch of crybabies. Jeez, they're getting their knickers in a biggest knot over this stuff. It's ridiculous. Oh, it's so unfair, yet those people can go on Fox and say all kinds of stupid stuff. Okay, so the energy with this is the Hierophant in reverse. This has really set, this is, because this is about big institute. It can be government, religion, educational. It's also about the big institutions of big business who thought they were really in command with their stupid little followers, and now they've been really set up on their ear about this, because it's like, oh, people canceling subscriptions and selling off their stock. Oh yeah, didn't see that coming. So they are literally, and I also think that people are holding them in very, very, very low regard, incredibly low regard right now. So, and which is saying, in reverse, it's saying they're not as strong as we're strong. We get together. We're stronger than they are. I think that's why people say, oh, it's about a late night comedian. No, it's the Constitution. It's so much more than that. Okay, so then we have Ace of Wands in reverse. Boy, that's put out their fire a little bit. Then we have the King of Cups, which means somebody on a high position stepped in and said, get a grip, guys. We made a big mistake. It's time to get everything back on track. And I think that there might have been an older, wiser, maybe they're not all a bunch of MAGAs. I'm sure someone who did not have very much of a big voice when they decided to yank him probably came, see what I told you? This has made more trouble than it is worth. Okay. Then we have Pentacles, losing the money. They thought the one hand washed the other and tit for tat and all that stuff was just with them and their oligarchs. No, they learned the hard way that these little peasants here ruled the day. Okay, very interesting. So, in opposition, we have he may be angry, and I think it's, there could be some other, rich bitches out there that are also angry about Kimmel going on the air, but truth is the truth. The truth of it is, if they needed to, this is good, Ace of Swords, they needed to cut their losses. That's what this is about. So this is a big, big lesson. You stand up to the bully and you hit him in the pocketbook. So, let me see, with the, oops, that flipped up, so I guess I got to do this. So with the conscious thoughts, we have, okay, this is causing I'm going to bet this was causing a big conflict behind the scenes. A lot of people said that was really stupid to do. I'm sure that even the most staunch conservatives said this is stupid. We're only going to lose money. So they needed to stop whatever conflict was also going in on the boardroom too. So this is what's happening. There's a lot of infighting in MAGA too. And this is just another one because there are a lot of, like the Tucker Carlson and some of these others said, no, you can't do that. They do. And it's not like they're big constitutional, heroes. It's like, hey, we do it to them. They're going to do it to us when they get back in power. And it's, they are going to get back in power. So subconscious, we have the Queen of Swords. I think the whole thing was that they were afraid that Lady Truth was going to get to them deep down inside. They did not know, and this is very female energy, they did not know when that sword was going to come down and really, really, see, that's the thing with the Queen of Swords. She's holding that sword, but you don't know she's smart. She wields it when it's least expected. So I think that was a big fear that they had with that. Okay, so in the past we have the King of Cups in reverse, and he's just getting ready to hold his cup and reign over the world of intuition and emotions. But he wasn't getting that cup, and the cup's in reverse. And everything went really, really bad very, very quickly. Not just on the material level, but I'm going to say on the emotional level with more infighting in MAGA land. Okay, so in the present, we have the Four of Swords. Oh, it's the Sinclair group I'm going to say this is the Sinclair group that's not allowing them back on the air. But wait, let's see how much their subscriptions and their subsidiaries tank in the stock market and anything, but they're just sort of there. They better not stay there too long, because I think what happens is that if they rest there too long, reflecting on, we can't let fascism die, and all that kind of stuff, then what's going to happen is that they're going to do so badly. Hearst is going to buy them up. They'll just gobble them up. So you may want to ponder that, douchebags. Okay. And then as we creep a little bit into the future, we have, Nine of Cups in reverse. Interesting, because that was the before. Yeah, that is kind of like, this is really turning I would say, the communications world on their ears. I'm betting there's a lot of fighting in boardrooms today, because be careful what you wish for in making this king happy, which you're never going to be able to do anyway. You might as just get over that. You're not going to be able. So there's a whole lot of that they've been totally taken out of their comfort zone. So this could be making people think, and he could swear that he's going to sue up and down and right and left, and what they could do is take a page out of his book and just not pay him, even if they lost, which they wouldn't. I see judges throwing, New York Times, all this sort of thing. Judges are going to throw it out, or they're just going to give the other side, yeah, you want a continuance? Yeah, 5 years from now. See you 5 years from now. They'll play the same game that he is. So going further out in the future, we have, in this one, they've done the talking, the bargaining, everyone's gone home. But with this in reverse, it's saying, if you guys pull this stuff of pulling people on off of TV that he wants you to pull off TV, you're going to have no more negotiations. You're going to have no more money. And I think maybe this is what these people are seeing. This guy better wake up and see that too. That's powerful, to lose all that money. Okay, so looking further out in the future, we have the Page of Wands, and he was ready to go home. But I would say that no, they don't have another fire to light to even make this right anymore. Which I think I will do a quickie on Colbert. Okay, so now we have in the hopes and the fears. Oh boy. They're always the hope that with all the daggers there, which is us, the consumer, that they won't fall. But the fear is that that we have a short memory. But the fear is that they will fall. They're hovering over there. They try to do this crap with other people that don't kiss the ring. They know that they have the power of the little people pulling out en masse. Okay, so we will see how. Okay, so how these network guys see themselves. Interesting enough. Oh, the moon. The moon. Maybe they're trying to say that we've got a really bad image of being kind of a psycho, bending the knee. Maybe what we need to do is to do a little bit of house cleaning. They realize now they've got a very bad sicko image here with the moon in reverse. So they're all about PR, public relations. How others see them is they're waiting for the whistleblower. They're waiting for the whistleblower to expose. This is what we're waiting for. This is where this whole Watergate vibe comes in. We want someone going to, Midas touch, or whatever else is the digital age of version of what the Washington Post was 50 years ago. I think what they're saying, we're waiting for more news to be uncovered, because maybe there's a whole lot of dirt behind Kimmel being taken off the air. That is really nasty, coming on top of the moon in reverse. Okay, so to conclude this, we have justice. Justice will be done. I'm going to say that the courts may not look very favorably on lawsuits of the big titty baby getting his feelings hurt by comedians. And they have weapons. They'll use this is what this tells me, what I just said, is that they get, these people get their lawyers to say, oh, they want to sue us. We need a continuance. Yeah, just keep kicking that can down the road and use those, get them with their own tactics. So to clarify this, and I would say it's almost karma, justice, but let's see a couple of clarifiers here. Okay. Because it's all about these people in the end. In the end, this is kind of like they want to keep their finances going, and they know it's precarious with that sea in the background. So it's comes down to the thing of money talks and bullshit walks. So what this is, I think that is kind of like a very cynical view of how we keep the First Amendment intact. Okay. Then we have temperance, the balancing things out, doing things in a more sane way, which is a big message to the audience, saying getting out in the streets, it has its purpose. And I think that the next No King's March will be very powerful. But there's certain things when it comes to this, it's like, just, keep your head together and boycott, cancel, and the whole thing, and get your friends to do it. It's just as easy. It's just as easy as that. So I want to do just a quickie reading as soon as I get all of these guys back in here about, what this is going to have an effect on. It's interesting that this didn't happen with Colbert, but I'm getting a really I think what I feel is like we get inundated and hit with all of these democracy, threatening things every day, like boom, 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 boom. That I think what happens is like, whoa, you go in a state of shock. So, and that happened with Colbert. I'm sure people canceled stuff, but I think finally when, I think that the Kimmel thing might have been like hello, we wake up now. Now we know what to do. But I'm wondering if they're going to go over to CBS now and do the same thing with, because that's Paramount. Can't believe I know all this stuff. It's Paramount and some other things that can really be heard. So I would not be surprised. I don't know if he is suing or not. I don't know. He's on until, which is interesting. He's his show. They're keeping his show on until May. Now I did hear he signed a deal with Netflix, but come on, you can still have your nightly show and do a Netflix thing. It's just that you work in the daytime too, or you just, a couple days a week, or when you're on. I mean, so people do that all the time. So I'm kind of wondering what's going to happen. What's going to happen with Colbert? Now, I will do a quickie because May it's kind of a ways off of next year. So a lot, as my colleagues and I are saying all the time, that energy changes, so things can change. So we just have to read the immediate and present energy. It makes you wonder what's going on with Colbert, because we don't want to lose him either. It's or Fallon, or the cable things are, that's a whole different animal. As far as like Jon Stewart goes, that's a whole different thing altogether. I think it is. Well, maybe not. Who knows? But at any rate, so I just want to take a quick look and see how this is going to affect Colbert, and possibly, I think that they were thinking of doing this with others that he was pissing and moaning about. That may not happen. So let's take a look at the Colbert thing. Okay, so alrighty. Now we have yeah, this Three of Cups in this deck is a little confusing, but that's what this card is about. I think there's kind of like a lot of emotional confusion right now. There is no need to celebrate, but what I see is that there are people. Well, maybe since the cups are in reverse, it's not time to celebrate, but there are some people working behind the scenes that are maybe, yeah, because I keep getting the feeling like something's going on, but nobody's saying anything. Because I think since they've gotten till, yeah, that's a different situation because Kimmel was suspended, which doesn't mean fired, but they could keep him suspended forever. But, Colbert has been given notice. Okay, so before and leading, let's see. So before this is, so I think there's like a number of things going on. It's still kind of emotional. So let's see. So before, oops, no, sorry. Wrong deck. So kind of like leading up to this is whatever this confusion is. Oh, okay. Interesting that this again comes up in the past. Shuffling, okay. In this context, I think that they're just, trying to get their ducks in a row, trying to, they're filling the cups. It's like it's filling the cups up, ready to get the meeting. I would say again, it's not the so much smug merchant. I'm going to say this may be the lawyers just trying to size the situation up as to what they're going to do. And so it's kind of like getting ready to sit down and see what's going on. But yeah, this is kind of telling me is that they're weighing different situations, and they're not ready to sit down and talk about it. And it looks that it's giving the appearance of being kind of confusing. So put an after tarot card here. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we got the Eight of Swords here. Interesting how they always have in these decks, they always have people kind of coming in. Okay, so I would say Colbert is at a point where there's not too much that he can do, but there is, I would say this could be a lawyer that's getting ready to kind of cut these ties. That this is saying it's kind of like preparation, but we don't know. He doesn't know. But it's not like there's nothing going on, but it's like, I just don't, it looks like they haven't quite decided what they're going to do. So let's see, in opposition of this, we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Four of Pentacles in reverse, it could either mean like letting go of, really hanging on to stuff, or it could mean doubling down. So I think what this is telling me is that they're really, 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 really sitting on their strategy, because I think they know it's going to change, and they may need to let go of it, but they're really kind of like sitting on it, and kind of like a state secret, I think. So and throw a couple clarifiers here. We have the lawyer. We have the lawyer here that is holding on to that sword, and when he's ready to communicate, he will. But I'm seeing all these wheels turning. Now let's see what else we got here. Then we've got yeah, this is. I think that they're in a way. I mean, he's still being very funny, and I watch him from time to time. But I think there's still a lot of regrets and feeling, kind of like feeling betrayed. And see, the two cups of the upright cups of hope, haven't quite seen that yet. Although there is the Netflix and some other things, but I think he really loves doing that late night thing, because he had his. I remember on the Comedy Network, he had his Colbert Report, which was really funny when he played the fake conservative. So he does like the late night. So I think there's still he's being realistic, but there's still a certain amount of grieving with the loss of that. That's, he can't decide fully because you do something for Netflix and it has a beginning and an end. But I think he's he's still it's tough. It is. Okay, so then we have strength. I think he's trying to gather his strength up. Strength in reverse doesn't always mean weakness. It means it may be on a temporary hiatus, and sometimes we do have to take a bit of a rest, may not make any rational decisions for strength to go upright. So what I'm seeing here is that while he may be taking things, what he's going to do about CBS is not very clear yet. But what I will say is that what we can do while they're making up their minds about what they can do, what we can do is to, again, cancel subscriptions. And maybe it won't happen as fast as, well, I think maybe some attention now. Let them do what they're going to do. Because whatever they're going to do is different than what we're going to do. So I think that there may be, after the Kimmel incident, there needs to be a big movement. A lot of posts on all platforms about sticking it to CBS. I haven't been exactly in love with them either from recent years. I stopped watching 60 Minutes when they gave Sarah Palin a platform like she had anything to say. That's it, I'm done. That had to be like over 10 years ago. Haven't watched them. I sometimes pick up on the Australian one on YouTube, but if there's a topic that interests me. But so I think the thing is they're going to do what they're going to do. Now, it could be that there could be a big wave of people sticking it to CBS and selling out their shares and all this sort of thing. They could ask him back, but it's up to him. It's up to him. Now, there may be something else that he's moving on, even if he's grieving like so many, like almost 20 years of, between the two things of being on every night, that he may decide, screw them, if they ask him back. But it would be nice if we could exercise our power of the purse to let that be his decision and not CBS's. So, at any rate, I'm going to try to get this going about an hour after my earlier one. So, let's see it'll be very interesting to see, because this could be a chain effect. But they're not even saying they have a hand, but I think they do. So at any rate, I think that I'll need to read on this in the future, because this is what that reading told me, that's gonna really change. So I might do a longer one further down the road. So at any rate, thank you for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, and to know, I kept forgetting to say because I've been off for a while, entertainment purposes only, of course. So with that, I'll say bye for now.